Welcome back to the JPA Football YouTube channel. My name is Brooks Huber, and today we are bringing you a redraft of the first 10 picks of the 2011 draft. This draft class includes big name players like Von Miller, Cam Newton, Julio Jones, J.J. Watt, and many more stars. If you want to see the 2012 redraft video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you can be notified when part 2 comes out. Let's begin. The Panthers are on the clock. In the original draft, they took quarterback Cam Newton out of Auburn, and I think they'll do the same thing. He won MVP, 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, 2015 Offensive Player of the Year, and led the Panthers to a 15-1 season and a Super Bowl appearance. And now let's go to the guy that ruined that Super Bowl appearance with the second pick out of the Denver Broncos, selecting future Hall of Famer Von Miller. I like to think they do not have any regrets with this pick, which is why he's going second in my redraft. He has over 100 sacks, 3-time All-Pro, 8 Pro Bowls, and a Super Bowl 50 MVP and champion. Now, this is where the real redraft starts. With the third pick, I have the Bills taking 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt, over defensive tackle Marcel Darius. Darius was good for Buffalo, but in this redraft, I don't think the Bills will be able to turn down the future Hall of Famer. He's a 5-time All-Pro and 5-time Pro Bowler, has over 100 career sacks, and one of 3 players in NFL history to have 3 Defensive Player of the Years. He's a lock to go number 3 for me. Let's keep this thing rolling with the 4th overall pick, where the Cincinnati Bengals picked A.J. Green. Now, I went back and forth on if the Bengals were going to stick with their pick like the Panthers and Broncos, but I could not justify them staying with A.J. Green in this redraft with a future Hall of Famer Julio Jones still on the board. So I have Julio Jones going forward to Cincinnati. Julio has over 13,000 yards, 61 touchdowns, and 92 yards a game. They definitely would have won a playoff game or two with Julio on the roster in that stretch where they went 0-4 in the playoffs during the 2010s. Next up is the Arizona Cardinals. They originally selected Patrick Peterson with the 5th overall pick back in 2011, and I think if they could do it all over again, they would do the same. Patrick Peterson had 3 All-Pros, 8 Pro Bowls, 29 interceptions. He was a true lockdown corner last decade, so I have Patrick Peterson heading back to the Valley over the likes of a guy like Richard Sherman, who will be picked soon. Now, this might get confusing to the viewers, so pay attention. With the 6th pick, the Falcons selected wide receiver Julio Jones out of Alabama. However, they had to trade up with the Browns to do so. Since this is a redraft and teams have prior knowledge of how these players' careers turned out, we're going to let Cleveland keep this pick. Sorry, Atlanta. So with the 6th pick in the 2011 NFL redraft, I have the Cleveland Browns taking quarterback Andy Dalton. This might be a head-scratching pick, but hear me out. Even if Andy Dalton wasn't a winner in his career, like I briefly mentioned before in the video, he was still a talented quarterback and could have saved the Browns from drafting many quarterback busts in the future. Brandon Weeden and Johnny Manziel, just to name a few. Dalton was never considered a great quarterback at any point in his career, but he was good enough, and I think that's all Cleveland needs with this pick. I think we can all agree on this one after I threw a curveball on the last pick. I had the San Francisco 49ers taking Richard Sherman with the 7th overall pick, speeding up his eventual arrival in the Bay. You can make the argument that Sherman was one of the best cornerbacks, if not the best, during the 2010s, and I even think Crabtree would have to agree with that. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, a part of the 2010 All-Decade team. If he was a Niner in 2014, I think the 2014 NFC Championship game would have went the other way. With that in mind, let's now go to the 8th pick. I have the Titans taking defensive end Cameron Jordan, who has a prolific career sacking quarterbacks. The Titans get the edge rusher they need while redoing the mistake of taking Jake Locker. Cam Jordan was a 7-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, and has over 107 career sacks to this point. At 9, I have the Dallas Cowboys sticking with their original selection of Tyron Smith. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Tyron Smith has been one of the best, if not the best, tackle in the game since being drafted, making it to 8 Pro Bowls and 2 All-Pro teams. I think he is an easy pick right here for the Cowboys. Lastly, we do the 10th overall pick, and I have the then Redskins taking Steelers star defensive end Cameron Hayward. The Redskins traded their pick with the Jaguars to trade back to take Ryan Kerrigan in this draft, but like I mentioned prior, there are no trades in this mock draft, which is why I have the Redskins picking at 10 and taking Cameron Hayward. That's the end of this mock draft. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next week for the 2012 redraft. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.